We'll get started in a couple of minutes.
Good morning, everybody.
Okay, it is now 10 o'clock. And my name is Laverne Fletcher, the board's agent. I'll be conducting the roll call hearings today, and I'd like to first thank everyone for appearing for ABRA's roll call hearings via the WebEx platform. There are 3 cases on the calendar today. The first case is Anejo Bar and Grill. This is case number 22PRO00017, Crujiente LLC, 3910 14th Street Northwest, license number ABRA 116070. This is a retailer class CT. Substantial change application to add dancing to existing entertainment endorsement. My name is Laverne Fletcher, conducting the roll call hearing as the board's agent. Is anyone present on behalf of the establishment? Is anyone present on behalf of Anejo Bar and Grill? Is Daniel Alexander present?
Present.
Mr. Alexander, would you please state your name and spell it for the record, please?
Daniel Alexander, Daniel Alexander.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Alexander, you filed your protest as an abutting property owner?
Yes, I reside at 3902 14th Street.
And so according to the geographical information system, your building does abut the establishment. The question is whether or not your unit, which is number 621.
That's correct.
The
Yeah, it
question,
faces.
the question,
faces. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say my unit faces 14th Street, so it faces basically behind the bar.
And so does unit 621 actually touch the bar? Do the properties actually touch or abut?
Well, I'm not sure depending on the definition. I mean, like the properties do, because it's, the building, it's a permanent building with driveway and parking lot in front. And so the parking lot technically abuts, touches their property, but the building is not physically touching to their building.
Ahí está el del trash can.
Excuse me, Mr. Alexander, who's speaking?
Oh, I think that was another user.
Okay, one person at a time. Mr. Alexander, abutting means that, for example, your ceiling touches your floor touches the ceiling of the establishment that the properties actually touch. Do you know if that's the case?
That's not the case.
In order to be considered an abutting property owner, that would have to be the case. I understand what you're saying. Well, the building's definitely abut, but your unit 621
Well, the
does not
buildings,
abut.
the buildings don't abut. I mean, the Randolph Towers, which is where my unit is in, is a standalone building that is.
So I've checked the geographic information system already, but for sure, your unit does not touch, and the units would have to touch in order for
Well,
a person to be granted standing as an abutting property owner.
are you saying that by the definition that the buildings do touch though? Because the buildings don't technically
No,
touch either. They're
your
just,
units number 621 would
yeah.
have to touch the establishment. As an example, if your floor touched the ceiling, or if one of your walls touched the wall, was on the other side of the wall of the establishment, your unit would actually have to touch the establishment.
Okay. I mean, in that case, then 3902, which is Randolph Towers, the building doesn't touch Añejo Bar and
We're
Grill
more
at
concerned
all.
about, yeah, your unit would have to touch 3910.
Yes. Well, I mean, right. And my unit, as a unit in that building, technically does not physically touch because they're separate buildings. It's just right. I mean, it's an abutting property, though. I mean, but no, it does not touch by physical wall or ceiling.
In that case, Mr. Alexander, your protest as an abutting property owner is dismissed, but
I'm sorry. According to the definition on the website, though, it sounded like it does not need to physically. I mean, it's a neighboring, like, the property that my condo resides in is neighboring to their, the properties are touching. So, because I mean,
so,
Añejo Bar and Grill doesn't physically touch any residential buildings. It's in a row of commercial establishments.
and so what you can do, Mr. Alexander, when you receive your order dismissing your protest for the reason I just stated, you have the option to provide that information to the ABC board to reconsider. And the ABC board can grant you standing at that time. But that would be the time to provide the information that you have, explaining why the properties do abut.
But this will be ruled on today, correct?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Alexander?
But this issue, their application for significant change to their license, that's being ruled on today?
Yes, there'll be a determination made as to whether or not the applicant will be granted standing to go forward with the protest process. But so you can stay on the line. When I initially called the case, the licensee was not present. So I moved on to the protestants, which I'm going to continue to do, and I'll go back and call the applicant in just a moment. Is Adrienne Morris present?
Yes, I'm here.
Miss Morris, you reside, first of all, you did not file your complaint as an abutting property owner. And so your protest is dismissed because you did not file as an abutting property owner. So I don't have to determine if you're abutting, but I will ask you, just for the record, if your unit touches the unit of the establishment. Do you know if unit 321 touches the
I mean, physically, our buildings
physically,
don't touch
physically,
the driveway of our building.
physically?
Okay. No, I don't understand why that matters though. Like
It does matter. That's what an abutting property owner is for us. But Ms. Morris, you actually didn't claim to be an abutting property owner. And in order for us to consider that, you have to claim it first.
yeah, but you would dismiss it anyway, so it's sort of a moot point.
Well, I would, but still I have to say all these things for the record.
Okay. For the record, none of I don't think Randolph Towers physically touches Añejo's building, but our driveway does like touch the back of their building.
Well, I'm gonna have to go through each protest anyway. For every person that filed the protest, I have to call each person. In your case, Ms. Morris, you're not an abutting property owner, and so your protest is dismissed for that reason. You have the option to petition the ABC Board for consideration upon receipt of the order dismissing the protest. Is Steve Donahue present? Is Steve Donahue present?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Mr. Donahue, thank you. Would you please spell your name for the record?
The last name is Donahoe, Donahoe. First name Steve, Steve.
Mr. Donahoe, you did not claim to be an abutting property owner, but your unit, but I have your unit number here. Does your unit touch the establishment as far as you know?
No, none of our whole building, as Adrian stated, it does not touch it. Our parking lot or our driveway touches their property.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Donahoe. Your protest is dismissed because you didn't claim to be an abutting property owner, and even if you did, it doesn't appear that your unit actually touches that of the establishment. And so once you receive your board order dismissing the protest, will have an opportunity to ask the board to reconsider.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
I was in another one of these hearings for another establishment, 18th Street Lounge, and they had quite a few residents that were more than a block away from the establishment protesting. How are they able to protest that when they're over a block away? And we can see the building, from our front doorstep. How were they able to protest it because they were worried about hearing sound how can we do the same thing when we're right across the street, or not even across the street? It's really across our driveway. How would we properly protest that?
They would have been able to file a protest because they filed as a group as opposed to as individuals.
I see.
The only time that an individual can file a complaint is if they are claiming to be an abutting property owner. And so those individuals that you mentioned, Mr. Donahoe, they may have lived a block or so away, but they would have filed as a group of protestants. They have filed as individuals, they would have been dismissed as protestants.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Is it too late for us to do that?
And who's speaking, please, for the court reporter?
This is Adrian Morris. Is it too late for us to, like, no one at any point told us this information when I filed like about a month ago. So is it too late to file as a group now and they're just going to get their dance license, or,
Well, we don't know what's going to happen regarding their license, but it's too late to file as a group because there was a petition deadline, which was March 7.
Yeah,
And
it would have been
so,
nice if someone had like told us this information, because we were under the impression that we had the right to file as individuals since we're directly behind Anejo.
well, yeah, it's in the regulations. I don't know. You filed as an abutting property owner.
No, I didn't actually, but
You did
yeah,
not
I
file as an
understand.
abutting property owner. So,
So it's just we don't have any recourse now. It's over,
once you get the board order dismissing the protest, if you believe that you are an abutting property owner, you can say that. Or once you receive the order dismissing the protest, you can say someone should have told you and you didn't know. You can say whatever you want to say in terms of giving the board an opportunity to reconsider.
Okay, I would like to know what is the best course of action for us to actually have a say or a vote in this or something, because it doesn't. If I say abutting, you're going to dismiss it. If I say I didn't know, you're going to dismiss it. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what is the best way to go about this?
Well, Ms. Morris, I can't say what the ABC will, but your recourse at this point is to petition the ABC board for reconsideration. Once you receive your order dismissing the protest, the order tells you that you have 10 days from the date of that order to seek a standing as a protestant. And so you may tell the board anything you want it to consider in determining whether or not you should be granted standing as a protestant. So you'll have an opportunity for that. Anything else, Ms. Morris?
Nope.
Okay, and did you spell your first name? I don't recall if I asked you to spell your name for the
It's
record.
Adrienne.
Thank you. And the last name is Morris?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant present?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Would you please state your name and spell it for the record?
It's Alejandro LePage, Alejan, D as in David, R-O, LePage, L-E, P as in Paul, A-G-E.
Mr. Lepage, at this point, the 3 individuals that protested your application have been dismissed, but the matter is not over yet. Mr. Alejandro, you disappeared. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you moved. Oh, you moved over. I see you. It's at this point, the 3 protestants that filed the protest against your application have been dismissed, but they have the option to ask the board to reconsider their dismissal. You will receive a copy of the board orders dismissing them as protestants. They will have 10 days to ask the board to reconsider the dismissal of their protest. And if they do, you'll have an opportunity to respond, to provide a response to their request for reconsideration. If the board does not grant standing to these individuals as protestants, then you would move forward to the licensing division. If the board does grant standing to the protestants, they'll let the protestants know, and I'll know, and I'll contact you and the protestants, because we would need to schedule mediation, a status hearing, and a protest hearing. But today we don't need to schedule any hearings at all. Mr. LePage, are you still there?
Yeah, I lost everybody, but yeah, I'm here. I'm not sure the internet.
Oh yeah, so you go in and out, but I see you now. So do you have any questions about that?
No, well, I'm just willing to work with the neighborhood, and I know I've done significant changes. Actually, because I wasn't quite. I know there been some noise complaint, but I didn't quite know where they were coming from. Then when I received the letters, I understood they came from the back end. I was more thinking that it was on the front end. So I actually added another door on the back where it's a 3-inch thick, full of
So Mr. Lepage, excuse me,
yes.
Let me interrupt for just a moment. The roll call hearing is not where you would have that discussion, but you may have that discussion with the protestants, whether they're granted standing as protestants or not. If you're interested in resolving their concerns, you feel free to go right ahead and do that.
With them, I'm not here to try to, have a battle where I know there's a lot of people that work during the day, and it's a lot harder for them, to go to sleep. And I know I already implemented a lot of it.
And so, Mr. Lepage, I'm going to interrupt this one more time. The roll call hearing is not the place to have that discussion, but it sounds like something you might want to talk with the protestants about. I don't know if you all have one another's contact information, But because the protestants weren't granted standing, doesn't mean you can't work with them to address their concerns. So hopefully things work out.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so Ms. Morris, I see you're still on the line. I don't know if you want to contact the applicant, but apparently he's willing to work with the parties. Mr. Donahoe, you are still on the line. Mr. Alexander.
How do we get his your email or something?
Well, I'm not sure if I can do it through here.
I will send your contact information, Mr. Lepage, to all of the protestants.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And is it okay for me to, just a second, 1 second, let me make a note here. So I'll send Mr. Lepage's contact information to each protestant.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Well, thank you for coming. The roll call hearing in this matter is concluded. Thank you. It's a public hearing. Feel free to stay on the line or sign off, whatever's your preference. The next case on the calendar is District Still. This is case number 22PRO00018. District Still LLC, 4400 Jennifer Street Northwest, license number ABRA 102521. This is a retailer Class A license transfer to transfer from 175 R Street Northeast to 44 Jennifer Street Northwest. That's Jennifer spelled Jenifer. The protest issues are adverse impact on peace, order, and quiet, and residential parking, and vehicular and pedestrian safety. My name is Laverne Fletcher, conducting the roll call hearing as the board's agent. Is anyone present on behalf of the applicant?
Good morning, Ms. Fletcher. Richard Bianco. I represent the applicant in this case.
Good morning, Mr. Bianco. Would you spell
How
your
are
name
you?
for? Oh, I'm doing good, thank you. Would you spell your name for the record, please?
Sure. First name is Richard, Richard. Last name is Bianco, Bianco.
Thank you. I'll note for the record that ANC 3E is the protestant in this matter. Although ANC 3E is not present today, they're going to be granted standing today because Jonathan Bender, I'll spell that for the court reporter. That's spelled Jonathan, Bender, Bender. Mr. Bender is the chair of ANC 3E, and he would have been present today, but he informed ABRA on March 24 of a family emergency that required him to leave immediately. And so in that case, we will not dismiss ANC 3E as a protestant, and based on communication that I received from Mr. Bianco, you're not opposed to that?
That's correct. The applicant consents.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bianco. ANC 3E is granted standing. Mr. Bianco, I'll go ahead and give the dates, and then I'll provide them to Mr. Bender later.
Great.
Let's see here. I'll give you the date for the status hearing first. The status hearing is set for May 4, 2022 at 10:30 a.m. The protest hearing is set for June 8, 2022 at 1:30. Mr. Bianco, I'm going to go ahead and run some dates by you. And if there's anyone that works for you, I'm going to run that by Mr. Bender. If it doesn't work for him, then I'll send out some more dates.
That's perfectly fine.
The next available day for mediation is actually Tuesday, April 12th. Tuesday, April 12th, anytime between 9 a.m. and 1:30.
I am available. Can we say 11:30 tentatively? And then if Mr. Bender needs to change, I can be flexible.
Okay. All right, I have mediation down for 11:30 on Tuesday, April 12th, and I'll check with Mr. Bender. I'll email him and copy you, Mr. Bianco.
Great.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fletcher.
See you
Pleasure as
soon.
always.
Yes, as always. Thank you very much. See you soon. The roll call hearing in the matter of District Steel is concluded. The last case on the calendar is Beirut Nights. This is case number 22PRO00019. Beirut Nights LLC 1025 through 1027 31st Street Northwest. License number ABRA 120090. This is a retailer class CR new application. The protest issues are adverse impact on peace, order, and quiet. My name is Laverne Fletcher, conducting the roll call hearing as the board's agent. Is anyone present on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, Zakaria Ibrahim.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Ibrahim, would you spell your name, please?
Zakaria, last name Ibrahim.
Thank you. Is anyone present on behalf of the Citizens Association of Georgetown?
Yes, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Oh, good. I cannot get on in the video again. Yes, Karen Cruz for the Citizens Association of Georgetown.
And Ms. Cruz, would you spell your name for the record, please?
Yes, Karen, Karen, Cruz, Cruse.
Thank you. The Citizens Association of Georgetown has standing as a protestant. Is anyone present on behalf of ANC 2E?
Yes, ma'am. Lisa Palmer.
Ms. Palmer, would you spell that for the record, please?
Sure. LISA. And then, sorry, PALMER.
ANC 2E has standing as a protestant, and we have a group of 5 or more. Is Mr. Hopkins present?
Yes, I am.
Good morning, Mr. Hopkins.
Good morning.
Mr. Hopkins, you're the designated representative for the group.
Yes, I am.
Would you please spell your name for the record?
First name is John, John. Last name is Hopkins, Hopkins.
And I see other individuals from your group that are present, so you can start wherever you want. If you would just state your name and spell it for the record, please.
Susan Crown, SUSAN CROWN.
Thank you, Ms. Crown.
Jean Jordan, JeanneJordan.
Thank you, Stuart.
My name is Harrison Lindsay, HARRISON LINSEY.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Elizabeth Starrells, ELIZABETH STARRELS.
Thank you, Ms. Sterles, and I see one more person.
John Bukavecki, and last name spelled B like Bravo, UCHO, V like Victor, E like Echo, CKY.
Thank you. Anyone else? There are at least 6 individuals present from your group today, which means that your group is granted full standing as a protestant today. And what that means is that at the upcoming status hearing, Mr. Hopkins, only you will need to appear for that because the group has already been granted standing. Anyone can come, but only you need to be present for that.
I understand.
We need to set a date for mediation, a status hearing, and a protest hearing. I'm going to give you the date for the status and protest hearing first. The status hearing is scheduled for May the 4th, 2022 at 10:30. The protest hearing is set for May 25, 2022 at 1:30 p.m. We need
I'm
to
sorry.
set a date.
Ms. Fletcher, May
Yes, Ms.
20
Palmer.
Did you say, I'm sorry, May 25th at what time?
1:30.
I'm not, and that's
for the protest
status.
hearing?
They're always in the afternoon, is that correct?
There, anytime the board wants to set them, this was the time available on the calendar. Why, we have a problem with that time?
Yeah, that would be a difficult time for me to make. I could do mornings, but Wednesday afternoons are generally I'm not available.
That was the time available on the calendar at the time these dates were provided to me.
Okay.
It's a new application, so I know the board doesn't like to change the date of the protest hearing, but you may contact Martha Jenkins.
Okay.
Regarding the time.
Okay, and in the meantime, I'm sorry, it's 1:25. Is that what you said?
It's the protest hearing. Excuse me, is May the 25th. May the 25th at 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll give you the next available day for mediation. The next available day for mediation is Wednesday, April 13. Wednesday, April 13, anytime between 9 a.m. and 1:30.
Could folks do 11?
What about you, Ms.?
Association says okay.
It's okay with the group of 5.
What about you, Mr. Hopkins?
I'm sorry, I just said I'm available at that time, the 11 a.m. 13th.
That's 11:30.
I'm sorry, that's still fine.
Is that good? What about you, Mr. Ibrahim?
I'm fine with everything. Even the month of Ramadan is coming. I did wish.
Can you say that again?
I say I'm a Muslim, and there is a month of Ramadan is coming. I don't know if
I'm sorry, I still couldn't hear you. Can you just speak a little louder?
I'm just saying there is a month which I don't work, which is gonna be starting after 5 days from now or 6 days. It's gonna be a month of Ramadan. It's a Muslim month, and we don't work during this month. But I'm gonna see if I'm gonna hire Mr. Eli or I'm gonna keep representing the case. But I'm fine with the time because I'm available. There is no problem with me if I'm gonna continue representing or I'm gonna have Mr. Eli to represent that case any further. That's it. But I'm fine with the time. There is no problem with the time.
So you're okay with 11:30 for mediation on Wednesday, April 13th?
Yes.
I have to tell you, I actually didn't understand anything else that you said.
I say.
You want to repeat that again?
I'm sorry. I'm a Muslim, and the month of Ramadan is gonna start.
Oh, I heard,
Yes. Yeah, after 6 days, and it's gonna stay for 30 days. And during these 30 days, we just worship and we stay in home, we don't work. So in case if I cannot have Mr. Eli represent this case further, I will be represented, there is no problem.
Mr. Ibrahim, I don't know if anybody else is comfortable, but I would be comfortable waiting to do this until after Ramadan is complete.
You see, it is not my concern regarding that matter, because I represent the client and he don't celebrate Ramadan. That's why I'm in that kind of situation. But just we're not gonna change, date for now until I get back to Mr. Joseph today and let him know what happened. And also, I believe that Ms. Lisa, that we can work out something with the protester for temporary license for now. I know there is difficulty and a lot of in and out in this case, but I wish if we can meet before and we just find some kind of solution for your protest, if this is okay with everybody.
Ms. Palmer.
Yeah.
Did you understand what Mr. Ibrahim said?
I think what he said is that he's going to talk to his client who does not celebrate Ramadan. So he's not interested in waiting the month. And that there may be a different lawyer representing the applicant.
Yes.
He also, I believe, said that he hopes to have a stipulated license, which I'm not, at this point, I'm not in a position to support. And we have a whole group of people on the phone that also have standing. So we wouldn't be able to move that forward.
And
so, Mr. Ibrahim, you're representing the applicant?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, you're not the applicant. You're representing the applicant.
I represent by Route Night. Yes.
Just a second. So you're not the owner, but you're representing the owner?
Yes.
And so you're gonna have to run this date by the owner, or is this date gonna be okay? Well,
I think it's gonna be okay with the owner.
I'm sorry?
I think it's gonna be okay with the owner. Just my concern, it is just if I can represent or not, but I think we're not gonna change date or anything.
Okay, I understood that. I think I'm having some trouble with maybe some volume on this side, so I'm picking up words here and there, but I understood you to say, so now you've disappeared, Mr. Ibrahim. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I hear you very well.
But you said that you believe the owner will be available. If you're not available, you would have someone else to present to represent the owner?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then mediation is scheduled for Wednesday, April 13 at 11:30. And I'll send out a WebEx invitation for everyone to attend the mediation, same as I did for the roll call today.
Okay.
So Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
I'm sorry, who has a question?
No, I don't. I'm fine.
So Mr. Hopkins, what normally happens in these cases is that the mediation WebEx invitation goes to the designated representative only. Unless you tell me now that there are any other individuals from the group that would be attending mediation, the invitation would go only to you because you're the only person required to be present.
Can I request that information sent to me?
Same for everybody else?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And Ms. Fletcher, could you make sure that I receive it in addition to Commissioner Murphy?
In addition to who, Ms. Palmer?
Commissioner Murphy.
Yeah, I've added you as a designated representative. So Ms. Palmer, you want me to send the invitation to you and Rick Murphy?
It can be just to me, but I knew
I'll
that you
just do
had
it
his name on.
I'll just send it to you.
Thank you.
I made a note in the record that you're the designated representative.
Yes, thank you.
Any questions at all from anyone? Well, thank you for coming. I'll see you on the 13th at 11:30.
All right, thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Ms. Fletcher.
You're
Bye-bye
very
now.
welcome. Nice to see everybody.
Nice to see
Bye-bye.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
The roll call hearing is concluded. Thank you.